In the early days of the epidemic, it was a death sentence. Generally, by the time someone was diagnosed, a year was the average lifespan. Unfortunately, many didn't make it to that landmark. And I started seeing my first patients with AIDS, which it was at the time. We didn't have a differentiation between HIV and AIDS. Generally, we were the only ones that were willing to touch them or talk to them. They'd been disowned by their families because many of them were gay and their families couldn't handle that. There weren't a lot of people jumping on a bandwagon to help people with AIDS keep their clinic open. But one word that I heard through many of these conversations was persevere, and that got me through. Then when the health department opted to close the clinic and move everyone to another provider, that started my new journey. But this is a group of people that were just not only underserved, but overlooked and ignored. And that just touched my heart. So a freestanding clinic, yeah, that would be dedicated to HIV, hadn't been done. So it became an international example as well. And we went to Paris and presented it at a conference there. Sometimes just hearing a female voice on the phone, I didn't feel like I was being taken seriously. I was accused of being a bleeding heart and this isn't gonna work. I come from a long line of strong women. My great-grandmother raised her children as a single mother back in the days when that was just not done. And she was a seamstress and a dressmaker. And she taught her daughters to be independent as well. And one of those daughters, my grandmother, was always an independent businesswoman. She wore pants when women were not wearing pants because she was more comfortable in that, and she just wasn't going to conform to the norms because everyone expected her to do. My mother was raised in the foster system, so she had to learn to stand on her own 2 feet. So a sense of community and family and involvement, it was just part of our lives. I had an infant at home, so I worked nights to accommodate, we had one car, so literally I would pull in the driveway, come home from work, and my husband would leave and go to work. Men, work long hours, and we're supporting the family. And when women are working, you're not doing what you need to do at home. So that's a difficult balance for women. It's not fair, but that's the way it is. I came back into nursing at the height of the epidemic. HIV is the virus that causes AIDS. And when someone is initially infected with HIV, their immune system can handle it quite well for about 8 years or so. And then your immune system is exhausted. And that's when people progress to AIDS or acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Then we do our best and quite successfully restore them to an optimal state of health so they can return to work and return to a healthy lifestyle. We would like to get people tested early on in their infection so that we can keep them from progressing to AIDS. We see more men coming into care because traditionally women are the last ones to take care of themselves, but women are at a higher risk. Now there's a complacency, and we see people coming in to get tested. Well, if I have it, I'll just take 1 pill a day. But this is a club that no one wants new members in. And the 1 pill a day can have devastating side effects, and it can be a challenge to take it. And even if you're taking 1 pill a day, knowing that you're taking that for the rest of your life can be quite daunting. So there is a complacency because we're doing so well. It's a double-edged sword. Where we are now is actually our 3rd office. We started out on McGregor, hence the name. We are now looking at another site down the road on Carroll Road where we're going to be moving prevention and outreach and offering ancillary services like mental health, nutritional counseling, and eventually dental care. Knowing that there is a facility and a group of people that care so much and they're all gathered together to serve a purpose and that I had something to do with that, I'm very proud to say that I contributed that to the community.